All right. Good evening and welcome to the Really Big Barbecue Central Show. This is the show that talks about all things important in the world of barbecue and grilling. We broadcast live and direct from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame city of Cleveland, Ohio. I am your program host, Greg Rempe. Happy to have you aboard here on your Tuesday. If you want to jump in the show tonight, I'm more than happy to have you. You can do it by calling a number, 216-220-0966. You can also email the show, Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. Everything that you want to find out about the show can be found at the main website, thebbqcentralshow.com. And here's what's happening in case you didn't get the newsletter. And evidently, let me just say this, and thank goodness, and I'm saying it with peace and love. The issues that we were having with the newsletter over the last, it had to have been month or two or three, to the point where I wasn't getting my own newsletter, because I send the newsletter to myself, and then I copy and paste and put that in my update on the blog, blah, blah, blah. But all of a sudden, I wasn't getting my own newsletter. Patently ridiculous. So, of course, I had to figure out exactly what was going on, and I'm not sure, I didn't do anything specifically. I had reached out to a couple people at the iContact.com website, and last week I'd sent a test run, or I think Thursday, well, not last week, but the week before that, on a Wednesday, and all of a sudden everything started coming through. It was through again this week, so if you have not been getting the newsletter, if you could tell me all of a sudden, hey, I just noticed that in my inbox today around 4 o'clock it showed back up. So things seem to be off and running again in that regard. Very excited about that. So sign up for the newsletter at the main website, thebbqcentralshow.com, off in the right-hand corner. And you can be heads up around 4 o'clock, or 1600 as we say in the aviation biz. Little scoop before everybody else gets to tune into the show live and see what's happening. All right, 14 past this coming hour. We continue on with the Pit Builders segments. None other than world-renowned pit builder from Texas, Rich Robin, Gator Pits in at 9:14. Then at 9:35, we'll go a little competition barbecue on that ass. West Coaster, Green Mountain Grill sponsored, or working for Green Mountain Grill, travels a lot. Good guy, watching him a lot on the Periscope. I don't know if a lot of people are familiar with Periscope right now, but it's a tool that a lot of people are really getting use out of right now. It can be used in a lot of good ways. Nevertheless, I digress. Andy Allen, Rooftop Barbecue Pitmaster, joins us to talk about his season. Then we'll move to the second hour, where we will find the very first installment of a brainchild that has actually been in the mix in some form or fashion for about 2 years, maybe 3 years now. And I think we have an initial offering, let's just say, and by we I mean me. But I have an initial offering at 10:14, tentatively named The Smoker's Pit. And what we're going to do, or what I have done, is secured 3 individuals. Clint Cantwell from Smokin' to Eye. Chris Grove, I worked with a Chris Grove, different life. Chris Grove, Nibble Me This, and Doug Scheiding, embedded Texas correspondent, will all be joining me via Skype and so here's what it is. I'm not sure if it's going to be like a revolving door, or if I can get one stable of 3 folks to commit to once a month, something along those lines. Let me see here. What's going on? All right, sorry. So it could be a revolving panel, but we got to commit to once a month, and we're going to just talk. Each participant on the dais is bringing a topic to the show. And they will be able to get their topic off. And then we're going to go around the panel and see, do we have a supportive point to be made by somebody else? Or do we have a contradictory point that's going to be made by somebody else? Make it a little fun. Open it up for a little point, counterpoint, if you will. So the first installment is coming tonight, The Smoker's Pit, at 10:14 this evening. And then helping me close out the show tonight, the newest sponsor of the show, Tiffany Thompson of mangreat.com. So very excited about that. So there you have it. Rich Robin, Andy Allen, The Smoker's Pit, a potential new monthly segment of the show, and Tiffany Thompson of Mangreat. 216-220-0966, Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. Don't forget, you can find this show audibly on my website. You can find it videoly or visually on OutdoorCookingChannel.com or Roku, because you can go to their app store and download the Outdoor Cooking Channel app. And if you go to my main website, thebbqcentralshow.com, you'll notice small updates, small visually, however, very what the hell? Damn cat. Extensive back-end work, and I don't mean that in any other way than IT. So a proper thank you goes out to Hot Grill on Grill's Action's own Matt Frampton for helping me out with that task. So we have a brand new Listen Live button for the audio stream. It will kick you immediately over to the tunein.com page for my show. And to that end, you will always have a live stream option. The three that I had evidently became outdated. I didn't really know that until I just started tooling through there one day and realized Real Player doesn't work anymore in Chrome, and neither did Windows Media, neither did QuickTime. Oh, you got to be kidding me with this cat. See this cat? He's going to die. So we've modified it a little bit. We've taken out the now playing situation, which constantly needed updated. It was quite a mess. And made it a little bit more fresh looking. Took out the rotating same 4 pictures that had been up there for 7 years, all that good stuff. So now, a little fresher, a little simpler. So hopefully you like it. Let me know. Head on over there. See what you like. See what you don't like. Lend me a hand if you could. Next up, 2 weeks ago, last week, maybe I'll get into where I was at the top of the second hour. But obviously there was no show last week. And the week before that, when there was a show, I was raving about Sucklebuster's peach barbecue sauce. Here's the good news, folks. If you've tried it since we last aired live, you'll be happy, and you love it like me, you'll be happy to know they do have it in the 1-gallon buckets. There it is. The spicy peach barbecue sauce. Thanks to Dan Arnold. Now, keep in mind, as I do say, and I think a lot of people think I'm full of it, this is, it was on my dime. Dan didn't send me 2 gallons of free barbecue sauce. Would I have taken that? Yeah, because rule 3 of the show. If it's free, it's me. But as I say, look, if your stuff is good and you sponsor the show, I don't have any problem buying it. Ask all of the sponsors of the show. I buy my stuff. Sometimes people demand. If you demand to send me free stuff, I'm not going to say no. But I will go out of my way to buy it and not be stupid and drop hints like, oh, please give me free stuff. I mean, that's weak. So I went out and purchased 2 gallons of the spicy peach barbecue sauce, which I am now making part of my homemade barbecue sauce recipe. It was free shipping, and I believe they have free shipping still going on. So the 2 gallons was like $69, and there was no shipping on that. Fabulous price. Great price. Very happy about that. So check it out. If you're looking for a unique sauce, I can't speak highly enough or well enough or good enough or bestester enough about the spicy peach barbecue sauce. And Dan isn't telling me to say that. I mean, he wants me to push the honey barbecue glaze, all that stuff. I'm telling you, this peach barbecue sauce may be, I don't want to overstep my boundaries, but it may be life-changing to a certain degree. All right, Rich Robin coming out of the break. Folks, let me talk to you quickly about CHOP's Power Injector System, the National Barbecue Association 2015 Barbecue Tool of the Year. Patent-pending technology. Not 2, not 1, but 4 needles evenly spaced at perfect distances for even injecting. Also comes with 3 plug screws, so you can use fewer needles to get around those bones. It's versatility, folks. Let me break it down a little bit. The number one seller is the half-gallon Chops Power Injector System, designed for competitions or to pump up the backyard warrior like me. They are easy to use. Clean it, fill it, pump it, and go. If you just have a brisket or a pork butt, you don't need to fill it all the way up. Just put in what you need. It will use it all. Trust me, I know because I did it 3 weeks ago. It comes with 14-gauge needles, 2 replacement plastic needle adapters, 3 plug screws, and a needle protector for $100 plus the shipping anywhere. Then you have the 1-gallon Chops Power Injector System, designed for the catering and bigger jobs. It holds double the amount of the half-gallon system, obviously. Use it in competitions, like when you're cooking MBN or whole hog or 10 shoulders, just to get that perfect one. It comes with 14-gauge needles, 2 replacement needle adapters, 3 plug screws, and a needle protector, $120 plus shipping anywhere. The newest one is the Chops Full Power Injector System. It's electric and is the commercial and competition Big Daddy. This is not a holding tank, folks, but imagine this, a 3.5-foot pickup tube that you can put in any size container. That's right, from a few ounces to a 55-gallon drum. It was designed originally for Chef Rob at one of the best barbecue restaurants in Kansas City. He has said time and time again that with the use of the Chops Full Power Injector System, his briskets are now better than ever. Comes with a metal needle adapter, 14-gauge needles, 3-inch 12-gauge needles, 2-inch 11.5-gauge needles, 3 plug screws, and a needle protector for $325 plus shipping anywhere. A number of top pitmasters, not only in the country, but in the world, are using the Chops Power Injector Systems every day to make their barbecue better than the rest. Because here's the thing, we live in a foodie world now, right, Central Lights? That's right. Flavor in every bite. This is how you do it, fast. It's not just for meat. How about alcohol-infused fruit or what have you? Come on, alcoholics, you know what I'm talking about. You got the accessories if you want them as well. If you need to shoot the ground spices or you're worried about shooting fatty meats and having that needle plug up, Dan Uladol will have you covered with everything that you're looking to get accomplished. All you have to do is visit their website, Barbecue Kansas City. That's BARBEQUE, BARBEQUE, barbecuekansascity.com. And then go from there. If you have any questions or concerns, get a hold of Dan. He will make sure that he gets you exactly what you need. Chops Power Injector System gives your barbecue some power. I can't wait to use my again Monday, I believe. We'll fire up the Big Lang and get some injected meat from the Chops Power Injector System. All right, Rich Robin coming out of the break. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting live from the Barbecue Central Radio Network studios in Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Radio Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
All right, welcome back. This portion of the Barbecue Central Show is being brought to you by Sam's Club National Barbecue Tour. 31 cities, $500,000 in cash to be won. Next stop is this Saturday, September 5th. September 5th in Richmond, Virginia. This is a regional final event that will send the top teams this time to Bentonville, Arkansas for the national final on October 10th. To find out more about Sam's Club Barbecue Series, check the results. Or to potentially register your team to still compete, because there might be spaces for that, you can visit kcbs.us/Sam's Tour. That's kcbs.us/Sam's Tour. All right, keeping up with the weeks and weeks of pit talk here on this show, let's go ahead and race over to the hotline and welcome in the owner of Gator Pit, Rich Robin, joining us here on the show. Richie, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing fine. Greg, how are you doing?
I'm doing absolutely fabulous, Rich. I always appreciate you making time for the show. And I guess before we get started tonight, Rich, you know what? Let me give you a quick call back. I'm getting a little feedback in my ear. I'll call you right back. Okay, thanks. I don't know if anybody else was catching that, but you know, every once in a while, Skype likes to make it all funny-like. So let's make sure we.
Sure.
All right.
Is that better?
Yeah, way better. Appreciate that.
Oh,
Richard.
good.
All right,
okay.
So if we could, maybe a little background about yourself. I know you haven't. I mean, I'm sure you've always been a guy that likes barbecue, but that hasn't always been your business. So, you know, quick intro on you and your background and kind of how you got into the whole pit building scene.
All right. I started back in high school when I was in Future Farmers of America, FFA. and I was welding for 4 years while I was in high school. And during those 4 years, I was actually building barbecue pits that we were selling to raise money for the program. And after I graduated high school in '84, I went to college and graduated with a bachelor's degree. And from there, I started my company, Gator Pit, in the early '90s, and we've been in business building pits since then. That's the short version of it.
Rich, I'm going to go on a wildly divergent section here. Maybe not for you, but for the folks listening who probably would never anticipate me asking this question. Do you think that welding is kind of a dying art form? Because as someone who has been in the heavy-duty transportation industry for a lot of years, working especially for some trailer people who do a ton of welding, that really seems to be, and I think it's an art. I mean, you get a guy that can do a nice tight weld that isn't, banging or grinding down. You got somebody you want to keep there. So, just overall, do you see that as an industry that really still needs to have the true professional behind it?
Yes, it does. Custom welding and fabrication. I like to call my welders and myself as fabricators, not welders. I like to refer to them as fabricators because there's a difference between a fabricator and a welder. To me, a welder simply just welds. A fabricator actually has to sit there, design, and think about what he's doing at the time he's doing it and what the outcome or the consequences of what he's doing at that time is going to be. And that comes into building and designing. And to me, there is a difference. And that's what we do at Gator Pit is we design and we build. So my guys and myself, we have to sit down, draw out, look at what we're fixing to do, what we're building for our customers, and really put some thought into it. So to me, there's a difference between a fabricator and a welder.
Rich Robin, yeah, go ahead, Rich.
No, that's pretty much it. I mean, to me, that's the difference. My guys are fabricators. They're not. I don't refer to them as welders. It takes a little more artistic work, a little more thought into what you're doing when you're taking a raw piece of steel and turning that into a finished product, as opposed to just. And I don't mean insulting welders out there, guys. So I don't take this wrong, please. As opposed to welding or butt welding, filet welding two pieces of pipe ends together and planting that into the ground. There's a big difference in building something out of steel and having a finished product as it is to simply just running a bead and putting two joints together.
Rich Robin joining me here on the show, owner of Gator Pit. The website, by the way, if you want to check out some of his offerings, gatorpit.net, gatorpit.net. So, Rich, I mean, you look at barbecue pits, and when you started getting into it, as you said, early 90s, in Texas, a little different, I guess, for the people that are, new to the show or kind of into the novice scene of barbecue pits. Texas is synonymously known for the offset style or the stick burners. Certainly, there's manufacturers out there that will go in a different direction, but I would still say, by and large, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you see a lot of offsets out in that part of the country. So, were there any other styles that you were thinking about when you got into it initially, or was it always going to be an offset for you as far as flagship style products?
Well, we started out with your traditional offset, and that is your offset firebox left or right of the main smoking chamber. Your heat transfers in from one side, goes into the main chamber, and exits the other. As you mentioned, Greg, there are other designs that came into play years back, being the insulated cookers. You have the vertical boxes of cabinet-type smokers with the fires built down below. Everything goes up. It's usually diffused or heat's diffused by a water pan or some other type of deflector plate that cuts that heat down so you're not directly grilling, so to speak. And those became popular, at least as far as, in my opinion, they were popular for quite a few years over the last 10 years. And there's companies that were really known for those that started that type of product or cooker. But when it comes down to it, I think it was trendy, and a lot of the competition cookers and a lot of the backyard cookers nowadays, and even the restaurants, are still going with the offset style smoker. It really, truly does turn out true smoked barbecue, and it's not that you can't get that out of the cabinet style smokers or a vertical type smoker, but it also comes down to the role of tending a fire, watching a smoker in the backyard, guests at a restaurant that are walking to a restaurant seeing a smoker with offset, the fire. It's a show, and people like the look of the offset smokers. I mean, that's what everybody's used to seeing for way back when, and that is still true today. And we sell more of our offset smokers by far. I mean, there's a huge difference between the number or percentages of offset smokers that Gator Pit makes compared to the insulated or cabinet style or vertical type smokers with the firebox down below, or even a vertical smoker with just an offset firebox. People still love that offset horizontal, and I don't think that's ever going to change.
Do you think the flavor comes from, obviously you have the live fire that's happening in the firebox, but just kind of getting that whole, whether you call it an art, whether you call it a science, but you get that draft going and the wood and the heat, and it's all just kind of doing it at that right pace. No matter what else you're using, the pellets or as you said, the vault styles or whatever else is out there anymore these days, because there seems to be more and more cookers. Those two or three things can really set one style of barbecue apart from another, depending on that cooker.
It is. It's the low and slow. And when for the majority of the folks that think about barbecue or smoked meat, they think low and slow. And low and slow is around 225, at the high end 275. And most of the other cookers, they're set up to where you can do over 275, 300, 350, even 425. You mentioned the pellet cookers. Those things are thermostatically controlled with fans. Those things, you can set them high. They get up there and they cook hot, really hot. A lot of your vertical cabinet-style smokers, the insulated cookers, they're designed, for the most part, to cook hot and fast. That's 300 degrees and up. Again, if you want the low and slow, you really need to look at the true offset smokers and look at those that are like what we have, and where you have the firebox on one end, and the heat comes from the firebox and into the main chamber and exits the opposite side of the main chamber. Now there's designs that come into play too. You got tuning plates, reverse flow, but those are still offset smokers.
Rich Robin joining us here on the show, owner of Gator Pit. Again, that website while we're talking, gatorpit.net. As far as models that you offer, Rich, and I know especially with your style of pit and the offsets, customization is almost hand in hand when you're ordering these things. So do you have, like a number of like stock models that you present to people and they go ahead and go crazy from there? Or do you sell a lot of, traditional stock Gator Pit pits, and then, you have a certain percentage that, might go ahead off the blueprint and make their own stuff?
Well, right now, and this is going to sound crazy, we have well over 200 Gator Pits on order right now.
Wow.
On the books. On any given day, we have at least 200 pits that are on order that day. And that fluctuates each day, but we average 200 new customers on order for the day. We don't have anything in stock. When you've got that many people ordering that many pits, we can't stock them that fast. So right now, you got a lead time, you got a waiting list for our Gator Pit smokers. The website at gatorpit.net, you can go there and you can choose my designs that I have that I've developed and designed over the past 20 plus years. And then below those photos of those models, there are options down there that you can choose. I put on the website the most common popular options that over the years that customers have added to these particular Gator Pits based on their designs. And from there, you can add those options. There's nothing that, for the most part, there's nothing that Gator Pit can't do. We are what I like to call a true custom designer of barbecue pits. And that's a rarity nowadays, because a lot of the guys are cookie cutting right now. We're not doing that. We haven't gone that route, and I don't intend on taking my company into a cookie cutting business where here's what I got, take it or leave it. I'm not doing that. We're still doing the custom, like you mentioned earlier, the handcrafted welding, fabricating, where we're cutting letters and logos, company names out of steel, and fabricating these products into what our customers want for their unique needs. And in each of those 200 cookers that I have on order right now, there are no two alike. That's how custom we are.
So what's a lead time right now? If somebody calls you up tomorrow because they heard you on the show and they want to start putting a pit together, when could they see it out of the shop and ready to ship?
Everybody's listening. They're not going to believe me. If they do, they're going to fall down. We're a year out.
1 year?
It will take you a year to get a Gator Pit right now.
Holy moly. Well, good for you. I mean, bad for everybody else ready to order, but good for you. Oh, my goodness.
I have, to give you an idea of what we're doing in production, I have I have 7 welders in my shop. We're working 10-hour days, 6 to 7 days a week minimum. We're operating at least 6 days a week, 10-hour shifts. I rotate the weekends between a group of welders or fabricators. That's how much production we've got going on. My shop is, for the most part, nonstop, 7 days a week, 10 hours a day.
Wow.
And you're going to run a year before you get one of our products.
Craziness. Gatorpit.net. Yeah, crazy in a good way, of course.
It's crazy in a good way.
So let's say I get one, and now it's on my patio. If you could, can you kind of break down, a seasoning process, and then, maybe for the new people that might be looking to get in the offset, starting a proper fire, and then being able to keep a offset pit at a certain temperature, because I think a lot of people would find once they get into it, that's probably going to be the most frustrating thing is trying to find that sweet spot and keeping it there for any length of time.
Right. Anyone that orders one of my products, one of my Gator Pit smokers or grills, you're going to get an owner's manual. It's about 9-10 pages long. There's cooking tips, there's care tips, there's maintenance in there. Of course, you can always contact me. I'm at my office every day. You can always email me. And I can assist you in anything you should do. And even when you get your pit, if you want to talk to me on tuning the day you get it, just call my office. I'll be happy to walk you through it. But there is an owner's manual that you're going to get with all of my products. But when you get your Gator pit, you are going to want to season it. And that in short, because we're short on time here, is cooking oil on the inside, canola, vegetable, peanut, some type of cooking oil on the inside. You want to build a small fire. You want to work your way up the temperature. You want to leave your air take vents open. You want to leave your smokestack open, and you want to let a lot of oxygen get in the firebox to give you a good, clean burning fire with some good seasoned wood, and open that stack up so it draws that oxygen into that firebox that you get a good, clean burning fire, and let it smoke for a good 6, 7, 8, 10 hours. The longer the better. So if you pick it up on a Friday, go home, season it. The next day on Saturday morning, clean the ash out the firebox, build you a new fire, start cooking, throw your meat on it, and enjoy it. As far as the time management or fire management, excuse me, my allergies are getting me today. But as far as the fire management, the way I've designed my cookers, again, guys, I've been doing this for over 20 years. In fact, I started building barbecue pits and designing when I was 14 years old. Right now I'm 49 years old. I've been doing this a very long time, probably longer than most people in the industry. I was doing this before it was ever even on TV or social media. So my designs are efficient smokers. In other words, you're not going to sit there like you have when you buy these retail Home Depot, and I'm not slashing these guys for whatever they're selling, but the retail store-bought pits and working your tail off, you can't walk away from it. It's either hot or it's cold. There's no constant, steady temperature. My pits are designed to run an even temperature, all right, a constant temperature, so long as you know how to manage the fire. It's all about the fire management in my cookers. So you learn how to manage a fire, then your cooking is so easy on my cookers. You're not going to put a stick of wood in there for an hour and 30 minutes.
Wow.
It's going to, and that's a long time for an offset, guys.
Yeah.
If y'all think, I'm going to be working my tail off. That's a long time for an offset. You can increase those burn times and give longevity before you have to put more wood in there by upgrading your fireboxes. So you can go with a half-inch firebox. You can go with an insulated firebox. The insulated is the Ferrari of fireboxes. Doesn't get any better than that. We do a 2,300-degree ceramic fiber in all the walls of the firebox. The door's a half-inch thick door.
Oh.
It doesn't get better than that. You can add gas to it. We can put gas assist in our cookers. So there's a lot of things that you can do with us. And again, I'm not knocking anybody else out there, but we are true custom guys. I can't express how custom Gator Pit is. There's nothing that we can't do, and we're not cookie cutters. So, and that's why it takes so long to get one of my cookers. I can't build a pit. It takes me 4 or 5 days just to build the least expensive cooker that I've designed that we offer.
Wow.
It takes almost a week just to build the one. So when you're looking at 200-plus orders on the books, that's why it takes so long to get one.
So when you're looking at pricing, and obviously when you get into customization, that's going to take it to a whole different level. But, I guess if you could kind of give us an idea of, maybe like a 36 or a 42-inch or 48-inch, style, something that you would go into a Home Depot and see one of those like char grillers. But people need to understand, that one you see at Home Depot is $200. But what are we looking at for, a comparable size, but, the Cadillac of that type of a situation?
for that, you mentioned that Char Griller or let's say New Braunfels or any of those that you do see in the Walmarts and Home Depot and Lowe's and those other places. Those are typically about a 16-inch diameter, maybe 18 on the large size, and those are going to run $200-$300. You can find some at some of the other retailers that'll run you $400-$500. You can go to Bass Pro and find somebody going to run you $1,800 to $2,000. So when you look at a custom cooker and you want one that's going to be efficient, and I'm not talking about just me, guys. I'm talking about other builders out there that do what I do. If you want to spend $2,000 on a barbecue pit, find somebody like me to do it. Don't buy it at a retail store and spend $2,000. Find somebody who's in the industry of custom designing and building. So I'm not pushing Gator Pit right here. I'm pushing other pit builders right here because we know what we're doing. And if you're going to spend that kind of money, buy it from somebody who's going to give you quality steel, new steel. They're going to have a design down that they know works. Because if they're in the industry like I am, they got a design that's going to work. That's going to be more efficient. It's going to be better quality. And the pit's going to be here 10, 15, 20, 30 years from now if you buy it from those guys versus a retail store where you're talking about a pit that, I'm just going to say it, that's got 22 gauge rolled steel made out of China. And they're building 300 of them a day. There's no comparison. There's none. So if you want a true quality cooker, then find somebody like me that is in the industry, that custom designs and builds cookers. Now, I'm going to be biased here. You want the best? Contact Gator Pit, because that's what we do.
That's right, GatorPit.net. They make
it's what we do. Contact Gator Pit, and you're going to deal with me. I own the company. I started this thing back in the early 90s. I've been doing this since I was 14 years old, a long, long time. I think there may be one other guy that's been doing this as long as me, and I'll mention his name, David Close.
Well, that's who I was going to say.
David.
Yeah, everybody knows David. No doubt
everybody
about it.
Everybody knows David.
Legend, for sure. Rich, before I let you go tonight and appreciate the time, what's the most outrageous build that you've done in your time at Gator Pit?
We've done some as far as big pits, we built what I call the Texas Legend. We built that back in early 2000. It's a 33-foot long pit. It's 9.5 feet tall. It weighs 12,000 pounds, and it's 8 feet wide. It cooks enough meat at one time to feed 2,000 people a day. It's a monster. It's all over the internet. If you Google Gator Pit Texas Legend, guys, all the people that are listening right now, it has been written up in magazines and articles and websites all over the world. So as far as the biggest cooker that got the most attention I've ever built, it would be that one. The second one would be the Space Shuttle cooker that we built for Discovery Channel and Destination America. When we had a 1-hour episode or show when they came and interviewed us and shot a 1-hour show of us building that Space Shuttle pit. If you go to Discovery Channel, you'll see that pit. If you go to my website, you go anywhere on Gator Pit, just Google it, you'll find that Space Shuttle pit. It actually has a 1.5 million BTU burners or thrusters that shoot out the back. It is the biggest, baddest pit that I've seen.
Wow.
And it's only about 14 feet long, so I don't want to say the biggest. But, I mean, the paint job alone was almost $6,000.
Poof.
But the flames that come out the back are crazy. And we debuted this thing over in Galveston at the Flight Museum down there in front of a B-17 plane, and it was so cool. I can't even explain in words the feeling that I had when we walked out of the hangar with this Gator Pit Space Shuttle cooker, and it actually cooks. Believe it or not, we actually fired it up and cooked. It has a beer tap, a 3-tap beer tap in it where you can put 3 kegs to it.
Oof.
It's pretty. I'm just going to say it's pretty badass.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Rich Robin is the.
As far as the coolest pit, I would think the Space Shuttle pit that we built for Discovery Channel was the coolest.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. Rich Robin is the owner of Gator Pit. Again, the website, GatorPit.net. If you are in the market for especially a stick-burning pit, go ahead and give Rich a shout. Contact him through email, call him on the phone, and obviously, as he said a number of times through this interview, he is the guy that you're going to be dealing with. So check him out if you're going up that alley. Rich, always appreciate the time, man. Thanks so much.
Hey, Greg, thank you.
You got it. There he is, Rich Robin. Okay, so now, of course, I'm going to have to Google the spaceship cooker. Spaceship cooker. All right, gang, if you are like me, you are trying to find ways to constantly take the barbecue and grilling game up a notch, right? What better or easier way to do that than visiting this website, butcherbbq.com. That's right. Hurry. Head now. After you visit gatorpit.net, head on over to Butcher Barbecue. We all know Butcher's is well known for the veritable cornucopia of barbecue products out there right now at butcherbbq.com. The injections, the pork, the beef, the prime, the bird booster, the open pit flavor for your pork. All great stuff. They are available for sale at butcherbbq.com. How about this? Grilling oils. Have you all tried the grilling oils? If you haven't tried the grilling oils, you are going to be in trouble. You're doing yourself a disservice if you haven't tried the grilling oils. Bobby says hi, by the way. If you're using the Parquet, let me just say this. If you're using the Parquet, and I don't want to get off on a tangent here, but if you're using Parquet in competition, I defy you to not have better products than going to butcherbbq.com, buying the butter-flavored grilling oil, using it in place of that just for one competition. You tell me your ribs didn't get magically better by doing away with that blue bottle. Be the one in your clan that steps across the line and says, I'm just not going to follow the general conformity of shenanigans and tomfoolery. Plus, it's shelf stable. You don't have to have it always cold. You can just leave it out, use it all the time. You got the sweet barbecue sauce. You got the rubs. The steak and brisket rub, of course, my favorite rub, the honey rub. All available for sale right now at Butcher Barbecue's website, which is butcherbbq.com. Of course, if you have tried somebody else's injections and you found that they have failed, you have the trade-in link option as well, I believe. Is that right, Dave? Hit the trade-in link, ship and pack what you have back to Dave. He'll weigh it and then return, send you back some of his stuff, keeping not only his customers continually happy, but his competition's customers happy as well. ButcherBBQ.com. That's ButcherBBQ.com. That is confirmed, by the way, from David Bosca. Trade-in link still going on. So head on over. ButcherBBQ.com. Always trust your butcher. We are back with Andy Allen of Rooftop Barbecue right after this. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Get in the smoke. Call 877-448-0433 to get on the air. Now, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
All right, welcome back. Thanks again to Rich Robin for joining me this past segment. This portion of the Barbecue Central show is being brought to you by Green Mountain Grills. That's right, manufacturers some of the best pellet grills on the market today. If you are looking for a big cooker to house a lot of food, they got one for you. How about, are you looking for something medium size? Yeah, they got you covered. How about something for tailgates? They got you covered there too, that's right. They can also supply you with pellets to fire that cooker as well. Check them out, greenmountaingrills.com. That's greenmountaingrills.com. I love mine. You could love yours, too, if you would just go to the website and grab it up. greenmountaingrills.com. Thanks to Jason Baker and the good folks over there. All right, my next guest is a West Coast pitmaster, currently ranked 54th overall in the KCBS for Team of the Year, does quite a bit of travel as well. Let's head on over to the hotline and welcome back the pitmaster of Rooftop Barbecue, Andy Allen, joining me here on the show. Andy, how are you, bud?
Good. How are you doing, Greg?
I'm doing absolutely fabulous. Did I lose your camera feed there, buddy?
Yeah, let me try it again. I was getting a bad connection there.
Oh, hey, there you go. Look at that guy. Yeah, you're the guy I see on Periscope. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about that directly. I mean, you're obviously, unless you're aging miraculously, I mean, you seem to be kind of a younger guy. We're probably, around the same age. And technology is key, everywhere, important, can't get away, whatever you want to describe it as. And you've really kind of embraced it. And you've gotten this Periscope. I've mentioned it 2, 3, 10 times on the show here over the last number of weeks. I see more and more people starting to get into it. And basically, for the folks that don't know about it, it's an app. You get it on your phone, and all of a sudden you have your own kind of TV channel, and you can stream whatever the hell it is you're doing. And a lot of people might not have any idea and ask you why you're always holding your phone up and not saying anything. But the people that know what the hell they're doing know all about it. What do you like about Periscope? What are you getting out of it?
I think it's going to be the new wave coming in here. I mean, I just found out about it actually recently, actually after you started talking about it. And I started thinking about it. We're going to be going to the Royal, the Jack, and the World Food Championships coming up here. And it's a great way to share that with everyone else. All the people that can't be there, we're going to live broadcast the award ceremony at the Jack so people could follow along. So on top of that, we're doing little cooking demos with it. Kind of the other night at a competition, I woke up at 2 a.m. to put the meat on. Kind of showed that process. And there's people actually joining in at 2 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah, I was following you when you were in, was it South Dakota? You finished like 5th overall in, yeah. So, got to see you kind of driving out there, and then got to see you set up. And I was one of those guys that did not get up at 2 o'clock in the morning, but got to see the whole award ceremony too. So I mean, aside from burning through endless amounts of data, or maybe there's Wi-Fi, so you don't have to worry about it, which could be a potential issue for those people that are kind of choked back on their data plan. But other than that, I mean, you have full access, and it's kind of the way you're seeing things, so you can kind of put whatever spin you want on it.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I have family, friends that want to see the award ceremony, so we could share that with them. And I know there's a lot of teams that just want to know who wins. And instead of waiting for the KCBS results to come up, we show them live. So it's really cool.
All right, Andy Allen is the pitmaster of Rooftop Barbecue. You can find him on the Facebooks at Rooftop Barbecue. And I guess, Andy, for the folks that might not be intimately familiar with you, a little background on you, how you get into this whole barbecue scene, and when did you start?
I think we're about 6 years now that we've been doing it. Started with just grabbing a grill out of our friend's backyard. They were moving, didn't want to take it with them. They gave it to us. Spent the next couple months kind of just learning it, how to cook. And then there's a local competition here where we live. It was $300, so we had to find another teammate to split that $300 with. So we each threw in $100 and actually walked away with some money that day. It was an IBCA competition. They had tri-tip, so we took third in tri-tip there. And then we used that money to pay the next entry fee, which was Mesquite, Nevada, a really big one. And we took third in pork there, and People's Choice. So after you get going there, you can't stop.
Are you still in a mode where you will run back and forth between sanctioning bodies, or are you kind of firmly entrenched in KCBS? And if something isn't going on that weekend or the schedule is open, you might look to, cheat on the wife a little bit.
Well, we have, I think, maybe 2 IBCAs here in California. In January, we actually drove out to Texas to try our hand at IBCA there. So we'll do IBCA every once in a while. I wanted to cook at FBA one of these days. But we're doing probably 20 KCBS a year. So majority KCBS.
Do you go out? I mean, 20 is kind of right on the edge of, pushing it towards a team of the year bid, and kind of almost not. I mean, it's, the guys that are making the run are probably doing it 35, 40 times, I guess, out of the year. So, I mean, you're not almost there, but I mean, you're not also not only doing, 5 or 6. So, I mean, you do a decent amount at 20. Do you ever think about the KCBS team of the year or things like, I mean, you only have to win 10, right?
Right now we're pushing to try to get in the top 25. That was our goal this year. The top 25. So to do that, I mean, you don't have to do the 40, whatever they're doing a year. So we probably have 6 more this year. I think we're 25th in chicken right now. So I'm going to try to keep that one up. I might end up doing a competition next weekend to try to bump us up a little bit. But top 25 is our goal. We set goals for ourselves each year and try to accomplish them.
How do you come up with Rooftop Barbecue for a name?
That's actually out of the Bible. We took that from Acts. Peter's up on the rooftop. He sees a sheet coming down from heaven full of all sorts of kind of meat. And that's pretty much the time when they said it was okay to start eating pork for the Jewish Christians there. So we got that, Rooftop Barbecue.
Well, a little more deep than the normal, rub one out or, suck your butt barbecue.
Yeah, we thought about it for a little bit.
Andy Allen joining me here on the show, Pitmaster Rooftop Barbecue. When you started out, were you trying to build your own unique flavor profiles, or did you kind of seek out classes to see what was winning and kind of get on that bandwagon?
No, the first class I took was actually last year.
Wow.
They put a class on out here. No, we started off, trying to create our own stuff and all that. And I recommend all the teams out there, if you're starting off, don't do that. Find out what's winning, start there. It could be a long process trying to dial it in yourself.
Let me counterpoint that just for a second. Doesn't that, I get it, right? Everybody tells you to do that, but doesn't that kind of take away the originality of it all? If you're in a lot with 50 other teams and there aren't cooking classes and you don't know what's winning, you kind of got to figure it out for yourself, which is counterproductive right now because it's so freaking expensive, and I get it. But I guess in an omnipotent view, if you can remove yourself because you're a competitor, would you rather see a bunch of guys out there just kind of coming up with their own shit and seeing what's winning in the judges' tent instead of everybody using, this type of rub and this kind of sauce and trying to get as much vanilla as possible without offending anybody?
Yeah, everyone would like to see that. I don't like eating my own barbecue. I'd prefer something a little more savory, but you got to do what wins. So the way I think of it is barbecue's a road going down, and you just want to be on the very edge of it. You want to be the one changing it up a little bit enough to stand out, but you still got to be on that road.
As far as cookers are concerned, what did you start out with?
We built a 250-gallon offset. So that was our first project. Between our first competition, we just had, I think we had a charbroil, pretty much whatever we could come across. And then we kind of took it serious from there. For our next competition, we built a big trailer smoker. So we spent the next 9 months building that to get ready for Mesquite. And we finished it about a week before Mesquite went. So,
are you a welder by trade, or you just like to build stuff, or what?
No, I laid out the design. I kind of understand how the airflow works and all that. It was a reverse flow. We have a weld on our team by trade, so he's the one that pretty much welded it all. We helped where we could, but I gotta give him the credit. Keith Hinson.
So you've seen some success here over the years, and now you are partnered up, and maybe you can explain it a little bit more intricately with Green Mountain Grills. Are you like an employee for them? Or are you sponsored by them? What's the deal with those guys?
A little bit of both. We started off sponsored by them. When we had that big smoker, it was fun, but once you get past 2-3 competitions a year, you kind of want your sleep.
Yeah.
So we got in contact with Green Mountain Grills. They sent us a few grills to work on, and I kind of just developed a relationship from there. So it's been about 4 or 5 years that we've been cooking on the Green Mountain Grills. And then recently in December, I was leaving my old job, really wanted to get into full-time barbecue. So got a hold of Green Mountain Grills, and now I'm helping with their social media, trying to do a little traveling for them, get a face out there, meet with dealers, all that kind of stuff.
In regards to the pellet cooker itself, obviously you're going to talk well about it, but what do you like about the Green Mountain Grill? What do you find benefit-wise out of it?
Consistency. Whenever you talk to a pitmaster that's doing well, number one thing they say is consistency. So if I could press a button and get that same temperature every single time, know exactly where the hot spots are, where the cool spots are, never changes, you could just deliver a better product. I think a lot of people rely too much on smoke. They think, it's got to be billing out smoke, and we'll see that a lot of competitions. We went to Texas. There's a lot of big smoke coming out, but the Green Mountain Grill, just perfect amount of smoke, light, thin blue smoke, and we actually took 10th in Texas in brisket out of 100 and something teams. So it's proof there that you don't need the smoke.
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
Don't need that much.
Got to do it right. Andy, as far as trailer stuff is concerned, I know you recently as a team got a nice competition trailer. Was that a nice bump up for you guys?
Oh yeah, I don't know if you saw the videos of me
Yeah.
going around the country, and we were in the back of a truck. So we have another trailer, but it really wasn't worth towing anywhere. No AC, no nothing in it really. So yeah, now we have AC. We have beds, hot water. Yeah, we got that from ATC Trailers. They did a really good job.
In regards to your flavor profiles right now, like what are you guys using, and what do you see that's winning for you guys?
We're part of the West Coast offense, so Big Papa Smokers and Steph, yep, right there. They are our sponsors. Steph was one of our first sponsors before he joined with Sterling. So he believed in us a long time ago. We really appreciate that. So we're sticking with them, and it's winning.
Are you surprised?
Look at the results.
Yeah, I mean, are you surprised just on a national scene how well that particular production line has done in competition barbecue?
Not so much surprised, but it's pretty amazing. We see every weekend, I think Sterling or Steph, one of them will post the teams, the West Coast offense teams or elite teams that won that weekend, and there's always at least 2 or 3, and the GCs are kind of just racking up with them. So, I mean, it's a good combination. Steph's stuff is awesome. I know you've had it. Just perfect blend.
Where are you guys going to be competing at next, Andy?
The Royal.
Oh, so you're refining before the big day, huh?
Yeah. So this month, I mean, I've been on the road for 2.5 weeks. So then when we head to the Royal, we're actually going to be on the road for 7 weeks. So I'm taking September off.
Yeah, sounds like a good idea. Andy Allen is the pitmaster rooftop bar. Are you still making barbecue sauce?
GMG is making it now.
Oh, yeah?
So, yeah, we sold the recipe to them a while back. Jason from Green Mountain Grills really loved it, so teamed up with him. I was selling a few bottles a day, and I had to wake up, before work, package up 2 bottles, get them to the mail. It wasn't worth it.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It can be a little grueling, no doubt about it.
Yeah, they got the distribution for it. So
yeah, check them out on the Facebooks if you're out there on social media. Rooftop Barbecue, and that's BARBECUE, and it's the pitmaster of the namesake. Andy Allen joining me here on the show. Andy, always appreciate the time, man. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks a lot. We'll see you around.
Have
a good show.
There he is, Andy Allen. Rooftop Barbecue. Again, 54th overall in KCBS, so doing very well as all things are considered. Looking to do about 25 places better, as he said during the interview. But here's a guy who I've actually kind of followed since he has been in the game, 6 years. And I have been doing this show now almost 8 years, I think, in February. You people realize it's freaking September? Where's the year gone? By the way, now we're going to talk about Big Papa Smokers. The #1 dealer of Mac pellet grills in the world. Big Papa Smokers features a wide selection of American-made grill smokers, such as the Old Hickory Ace BP, Gateway Drum Smoker, even a drum kit that gives you everything you need to make a world-class smoker out of a 55-gallon drum. Big Papa Smokers also made a name for itself recently by crafting an award-winning line of championship rubs from flavors like Sweet Money to Happy Ending. Their rubs have won almost every major barbecue competition, including the 12 and 13 American Royal, the 12 and 14 Jack, the 13 Kingsford Challenge, the 14 Houston Livestock and Rodeo, and the 14 King of the Smoker. I don't think they can just be pigeonholed into competitive barbecue either. BPS rubs have become so well known, they've been picked up by a nationwide restaurant chain, BJ's Restaurant and Brew House. With 4 of the 9 BPS rub features on their permanent menu. And amid glowing reviews, BPS rubs are proven to be a great addition to anyone's pantry. Big Papa also banded together with fellow California-based rub company Simply Marvelous Barbecue to form what has now become known as the West Coast Offense. Defying conventional wisdom, these 2 California-based rub makers have cornered the market on what competitive barbecue has begun to aim for flavor profile-wise. Big Papa's website also features an online meat locker with top-quality meats such as Snake River Farms, shipped right to your door, from the American Kobe beef, the Caribou to pork, the Double R Ranch meats. Big Papa's has something for everybody in that meat locker, and they're committed to bringing you the best new flavors on the market. That's why they're giving you Swamp Boy sauce, Fine Swine sauce, Granny's barbecue sauce. These are the new kids on the block this season. Big Papa's also created the BPS Elite Team, featuring 15 of the best competition teams in the country, working together to promote camaraderie, competition, barbecue, and benefit children's charities across the U.S. Keep in mind that Big Papa's has been able to do all of this Within only 5 years of being in the biz, turning the competition world on its head, providing customers with the very best barbecue products, becoming a staple of a nationwide restaurant chain, and benefiting children's charities across the U.S., it's just the beginning. It's just the beginning for Big Papa Smokers. All right, thanks again to Andy Allen from Rooftop Barbecue for that interview. Very good. Glad I'm getting some feedback there on the Instant Chat saying similar words. So congratulations to Andy on a successful interview. All right, we are back right after this to wrap up the first hour. You are listening and watching the Barbecue Central show. We'll be right back with more. Hang on.
Big name interviews, advice on cooking brisket and ribs, and the only host willing to share his honest opinion on all things important in the world of barbecue. It's the Barbecue Central Show.
Welcome back. This portion of the show brought to you by cookinpellets.com. Heyo! Your number one source for quality wood pellets for all your pellet-driven cookers. Visit cookinpellets.com for more information or to purchase. You can also visit amazon.com to purchase as well. Just plug it in, cookinpellets.com. It's a beauty. All right, thanks again to Andy Allen for joining me this past segment. John Dawson weighing in on the newsletter. Got mine today, and it was in my inbox and not relegated to the spamness. Well, something has been fixed. And I don't want to sit here and take credit when credit is not due and all of that other stuff. But if I'm not mistaken, John was having his newsletter kicked into his spam folder at not his behest. So now it's showing back up in the inbox, so that's good. Rich Robin giving me a quick thank you, saying he plugged me on all the social medias that they have. So, Rich, as always, the pleasure was mine. GatorPit.net and Rooftop Barbecue is on the Facebooks if you want to check them out here while we get ready to roll over into the second hour. We have a lot of good things to cover there. We'll get a little bit in depth with the Sam's Club local that took place this past weekend. Also, we will do a live weekly barbecue roundup. We have two great interviews lined up in the second hour as well. Oh, my goodness. It's great to be back, folks. And as the great Tony Rizzo says, it's good to be alive. Because what's the alternative? Yeah, that's right, Austin Carr. You get that weak stuff out of me. All right. I'm going to refresh my water, and I'll be back. Look, I got it in my Rogue Cooker Yeti tumbler. See, it says Yeti. This thing keeps ice like crazy, by the way. Love it. All right, we're stepping away. We'll be back in about 2 minutes and 1/2. You're listening and watching the Barbecue Central show right here on the Barbecue Central Radio Network. Stick around.
This is Rennie Knopf with ChampionshipBBQ.tv, and you're listening to the Barbecue Central Show.
Happy to have you aboard here for the really big barbecue show.
We cook because we have to, and we grill because we want to.
Fine, how's it going?
You have a great show. I'm a big fan.
So what seems to be the problem here? This man looks like he's dead, and he's in the crackle.
Charbono! It's all about the charbono, dude!
Succulent fish. What?
$28.50 for wieners.
But listen, Lavernius, shut your face.
I'm shaking like a dog shitting peach seeds.
We have top men working on it right now. Who? Top men.
All right, welcome back to the second hour. This is the Barbecue Central Show, folks. You found it. Congratulations. You've done it. Success befalls you for the excellence in barbecue. Where is that thing? Thought I had it. There it is. Ladies and gentlemen, it is I. Uh-oh. Where'd he go? Damn it. Aha, it is I, El Smokebo, and the EIB network. That's right, the excellence in barbecue, and leader of the advanced barbecue studies at the El Smokebo Institute for Advanced Barbecue Studies. Oh, they've done a doozy here. They've done a doozy here, folks. You're not going to believe it. You are not going to believe it. The Democrats are crazy in the barbecue scene. They're crazy. Bringing this country to hell in a handbasket. Where's my OxyContin? Right. If you want to get in touch with the show tonight, you can do that. 216-220-0966. Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com is the way to get in touch with me, should you see fit. Just lining up my last guest of the night here, making sure our Skypes are all on board. Don't forget, still to come on the show tonight is at 10:14, the Smoke Pit, or the Smoker's Pit, or perhaps a name that we'll all think of a little bit later. And helping me close the show at 10:35, Tiffany Thompson, Man Great. Folks, the 2015 Sam's Club Series rolled into Laurel, Maryland this past weekend. This was a local event that fed the top 6 teams into next weekend, or this coming weekend's, Richmond, Virginia regional final, September 5th, by the way. Those top 6 teams moving on, winning it. Old Virginia Smoke with a 673-6. Reserve Grand, only out of it by 0.5 of a point, Rockin' Robin's Barbecue. Congratulations. Third place, Wolf's Revenge. Fourth place, Three Eyes Barbecue. Fifth place, 270 Smokers. And rounding out the top 6 and making it to this coming weekend's regional final in Richmond, Fred Vegas Smokers. You're looking at about 18 points or so between 1 and 6, so fairly tight. As I've just mentioned, the next Sam's Club event will be this coming weekend, September 5th, in Richmond, Virginia. Again, this is a regional final, so those top 10 teams will move on to the Benton, Arkansas final coming, dare I say, next month. Where is the year gone? 2015 rapidly coming to a close. Hoo-ha. Right, let me, I'm going to use a different music this time for the weekly barbecue roundup. It went so well the last time when I did it live. That I figured, yeah, why not? Let's go ahead and do it again. So, without further ado, let's do it again. And if anybody can name this song... Wait a second. Oh. That sounds really loud. Shysters. All right, stand by. I can't tell how loud that is with my IFB. So I got to go old school radio DJ here right quick. Let's try it again. All right. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Anybody can... if anybody can tell me the name of the movie that this song came from, you get a prize. All right. This week is covering August 28th and 29th. It's an all KCBS roundup this week because Texas didn't report. Nothing's going on in the FBA except president stepping down amid controversy. Smokin' on Oak in Boner Springs, Kansas. Winning it Squeal Like a Pig Barbecue with a 702.8. The 4th annual Death's Door Barbecue, Washington Island, Wisconsin. Winning it T-Mac Smokin' with a 698.6. New Holland Summerfest, New Holland, Pennsylvania, winning it 420Q. 70 teams there with a 682. 8th annual Big Island Barbecue, Albert Lee, Minnesota, winning it Pigskin Barbecue with a 694.8. Best of the West Barbecue Fest in Sheridan, Wyoming, Grillin' Beavers takes it at 25 teams with a 691.4. Grill Games in Kenosha, Wisconsin, the American Dream Barbecue Team wins it with a 686.2. East Central State Barbecue Cook-Off, Paola Roots Festival in Paola, Kansas. And maybe I'm not saying that right, but that's all right. I'm pretending like I do. Big Wigs Barbecue wins it with 65 teams with a 682.2. That Sam's Club National Barbecue Tour that I just mentioned in Laurel, Maryland. Old Virginia Smoke winning it with a 673.6. Ripstock 2, Ribs and Racing in Marnie, Michigan. Big Brothers Barbecue winning with a 675.9. Hagen on Lanier, Gainesville, Georgia. This is a GBC qualifier. Sauced Barbecue Team wins it, 703.9. Wow. Smokin' in the Valley, Pikeville, Tennessee. Winning it, Smoke on This with a 702.2. Back-to-back to the Park Barbecue in Marshallton, Iowa. Big T's Q Crew winning it with a 692.5. Wild West Barbecue Shootout, Wendover, Nevada. Smokeaholics wins it. 49 teams with a 706.8. Wow. Raider Red Meats Barbecue and Ribeye Championship, Lubbock, Texas. Winning it, El Rey Smokers Competition Team. Couple events canceled. The Rag Fest in Den Haag, Zuid, Holland. Ugh. Hamper and Tongs wins it with a 672.6. The Best Barbecue Chef Competition in New London, Connecticut. Winning it, Smokin' Moe's Barbecue with a 680. So congratulations to all that heard their name called on this edition of the Weekly Barbecue Roundup. Now back to me. All right, now I got to make that crazy transition from one ear to the next. I think I might like doing the live barbecue roundup better than the pre-recorded barbecue roundup. That's up for debate. I don't know. I'm getting a little blue on the camera. That's crazy. So no guesses on that. No guesses on that song. Nobody knows that song. I mean, I know. As soon as I hear that, I know it, right? Oh, cripes. Well, here is a Texas update. IBCA, no cook-offs. Texas Gulf Coast, Adapt and Overcome Barbecue Cook-Off. Winning it, We Be Smokin'. Lone Star Barbecue Society was off, and there was a non-sanctioned event as well. Thanks to Doug Scheiding for doing that. A song from The Price is Right. No, it's a movie. I said, what movie? John Dawson with a segment name idea. Barbecue Crossfire. It's kind of catchy. Is it? We know you won't take part in it. Sucker. There was a story on a man that was shot and killed for Waco, but I'm not going to get to that today. Maybe next week. As far as where I was last week, it was actually work-related. I had to do a national sales competition for my particular ownership group, 22 dealers nationwide. And a guy 4 months into it, going over the Model 579, I won my local event like 2 months ago, and my regional event a month ago, and I went up to Minneapolis-St. Paul, walked in against 3 other competitors, and summarily kicked them into submission and walked away with the whole damn thing. $3,000 in prize winnings, 2 trophies. Suck it. That's right. All right, the smoking pit. The smoking pit. It's not the reach, the walk around contest. Oh my God. The smoke pit coming up next. Fast Eddie's by Cook Shack Pellet Grill is a smoker and a grill all in one. 100% stainless steel. Wood-burning pellet-fired cooker that uses direct and indirect heat to 800 degrees. It is the only pellet grill on the market that uses charbroiler technology. It features electronically controlled temperature to eliminate large heat fluctuations that dry and shrink meat. A pellet grill can grill, bake, roast, sear, and smoke. Cook Shack has 2 models, the 1000 and the 500. The PG 500 features a 2-way swing lid, pellet drop, and utensil holder. The 1000 is a fully insulated double-wall rolled hood for superior heat retention, fuel savings, and maximum cooking performance. Both of them have many great features, including 784 square inches of cooking space, easy side-loading pellet hopper, fully automated wood pellet feed system, stainless steel cooking grates on the direct zone that produce killer-looking sear marks, nickel-plated grills on the indirect and top racks. How about a drip bucket? How about a pellet ash drawer? How about 100% stainless steel construction? How about a warming drawer? How about 40 pounds of free Cook Shack hickory pellets? And the best thing ever, a 30-day money-back guarantee. That's right, folks. Cook on it for as much as you want. As much as you want for 30 days. At the end of 30 days, if you go, I don't like it, well, then send it back and get your money back. Who else is doing that? Nobody else is doing that. Nobody's going to let you cook on their cooker for 30 days and then maybe send it back. That's how confident they are in the PG 500 and 1000. It's versatile. It adds the full flavor. When you cook with wood pellets, the fuel's consistent, the smoke more flavorful. You can visit their Cook Shack YouTube channel. You can go to pelletcooker.com. You can go to cookshack.com. Or you can call 800-423-0698 and order yours today. Quickly becoming one of the longest-running sponsors of the show now is Cook Shack. I'm actually looking to either get Stuart or Eddie on sooner than later to visit with them. Again, cookshack.com or pelletcooker.com, singular, pelletcooker.com. Visit their YouTube channel as well. I got to color this up a little bit better. There we go. All right, stick around for the Smoker's Pit. We'll see how it goes. I mean, I never put too much faith in the first offering, but this is how we keep the show live, local, and late breaking. New stuff. Hold on, I got to fix this. All right, I saw the color jump. There we go. I saw the color jump. Stick around.
Broadcasting live from the Barbecue Central Radio Network studios in Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Radio Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
All right, folks. We are back. This portion of the Barbecue Central Show is being brought to you by Man Grate Grill Iron Grill Grates, made right here in good old America. Restaurants and pros use cast iron for a reason: even heat, conduction, and retention. No hot spots. Man Grate's patent-pending design traps and evaporates oils, fats, resulting in reduced flare-ups and perfect sear marks each and every time. Use code BBQCEN, BBQCEN, for 25% off your purchase at mangrate.com. Do that. You know you love get the 25% off stuff. All right. I said it before, I say it again. In order to keep the show live, local, and late breaking, I make up stuff. And then when I make up stuff, I need other people to help me get my made-up stuff to fruition, and I have done it tonight. I have secured a Dream Team first panel. They were unavailable, so I asked these other guys to show up. Doug Scheiding from Row Cookers, Chris Grove from Nibble Me This, and none other than Clint Cantwell from Smoke into Eye, and I'm amid other competition. Doug, turn your camera on, you goof. You got a camera on there, Dougie?
I should.
Hit the hover around the bottom, and you probably have a slash through your camera. Just turn it on.
Okay.
These were all things that we talked about earlier in the email communication. We're off to a great start, folks. All right, so here's the concept while Doug is trying to allow us to see his face. I'm going to go ahead and ask, at random, one of the panel members to give me a topic that they are ready to rant on or espouse about or just share some general information on. And then we will get to go through the other three, me included, and give our opinions, whether they are supportive or contradictory. It doesn't matter because we're all friends here. Or at least we'll act like it for now. And then maybe we'll reconvene again in 30 days and see what else we can come up with. Everybody on board with that?
Let's do it.
Yep.
All right. So, Chris Grove, we're going to start with you. You are nibblebethis.com, a great food blog, a great live fire cooking blog. So if nobody has visited there yet, or if you're new to the show, please go ahead and check out his wanderings of a madman. And so we'll go to Chris. And what is your topic tonight, Chris?
My topic is, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, good. My topic is on about the ancillary categories for contests. I think the turn-ins have really gotten out of hand, and it just kind of gets on my nerves. I mean, I understand it's not a sanctioned part of the event, but I also get why they may say, well, you don't have to turn everything in this turn-in box because banana pudding's not going to fit good in a turn-in box. But, when you see these big custom trays coming in with, the garnish is a full bottle of red wine with 6 pieces of stemware, to me, that is over the top. And it's, we sit here and worry about one little piece of foil getting in a turn-in box with the meats, yet we're letting people turn in, custom plates with shots of alcohol with them. And, it's bad enough that these are already being judged by non-sanctioned judges a lot of times. But and you've got some organizers are making them mandatory to participate in the ancillary contest. I would like to see if they're going to make it mandatory, it should come more in line with KCBS judging standards. So that's my beef.
All right, Clint Cantwell of Smoking to Eye, point or counterpoint?
I agree to some extent. I mean, it is an ancillary category, though, so you're not required to enter it. But definitely, I haven't seen people putting a bottle of wine and stemware on a tray. I've judged the Jack Daniels twice. I'm judging again this year, and you see some ridiculous stuff rolling in there. But if people are going as far as putting bottles of liquor on there, I think that there's got to be some sort of limitations placed on that. The problem is there is no governing body for ancillary categories, so it's really up to the individual organizers to set those standards.
Doug, do you have any thoughts on ancillary over-the-topness?
I'll agree that for everything but Chef's Open, if it's Chef's Open, I think pretty much anything should go. But if it's dessert or fajitas or cabrito, whatever, pulled pork, then anything in the box should be edible, I guess, including parsley for you KCBS people.
All right, so let me weigh in on this. I think if it is a mandated portion, Chris said something in his opening about if it's mandated, then that ancillary category should be bound to the same type of turn-in box that the other 4 KCBS meat categories are going to be turned in on. So I agree with that. I think that absolutely, if it's going to be something, if you're going to make, I guess it seems contradictory. Ancillary means I shouldn't have to take part in it, so I guess they would have to then term it a mandatory category as well. And is that also now going to count towards points to the overall, or is that still going to be held aside? Because unless I'm completely mistaken, any ancillary category isn't going to give you points towards an overall competition, regardless of sanctioning body that you're in. So if you're going to require people, if you're going to come to my contest, you got to cook the ancillary contest, which is now mandatory, which is contradictory. Then you have to conform to the turn-in boxes. But if you don't, if it's still just going to be open, man, turn in 6 bottles of vodka, for crying out loud. I mean, who cares? I mean, go as over the top as you want. I mean, I certainly understand from a judge's aspect that it can get like a little crazy. But if I'm a contestant, I want rose tulips out of radishes. I'll put AstroTurf down on the tray. It's bottles of booze all over.
Tray.
Yes, I mean, just go absolutely nuts, because if you're trying to hide your bad tasting food that much, something is afoot. That's all I have to say about that. All right, Doug, since you're up, go ahead and share your take here, and then we'll go around the panel.
Yeah, I think Texas needs to change the scoring system so that we're stop judging cold barbecue for large events. And if you're familiar with Texas scoring, you might have 3-4 rounds of 20 minutes apiece, and an hour and a half later you're turning in your next entry, and the final table is going on, and so they're judging your meat an hour and a half, 2 hours later in the larger events. So I think this detracts from having new competitors come in. New teams come into because they really don't know that your barbecue has to taste good, both hot and cold. And in addition, I also think that with Texas only calling the top 10, I think that also is a detractor for new teams entering into the market. And quite frankly, if I lived out of state, I'm not sure I would go and cook in an IBCA and or Texas, Lone Star, because Texas Gulf Coast has just started the Georgia Best system. But because if you finish 11th or in a large contest 16th, you have no idea how you did and how you stack up against the rest of the bunch.
You don't get any feedback after the fact from below, like if you finish 70, it's just top 10 and that's it?
It's just top 10. So
wow.
if the contest is, sometimes if it's over 100, they'll call top 15. So if you finish 16th or you finish 99th or 149th, you have no clue.
Wow, that's crazy. Chris, reaction on that?
Well, yeah, I don't think I'd be wanting to compete if I couldn't get feedback. I love the KCBS stuff where that's the first thing you do is run for that rep to get your score sheets to see, where you fell. Even even if you got calls, you still want to see the other stuff and see how you got your ass handed to you on dessert because you didn't turn in a bottle of wine. No, seriously though, I totally agree.
Yeah, Clint, as a competitor and a judge, I mean, you want to see where you finish, right?
Oh, 100%. That shocks me that they don't get score sheets or anything to allow you to better yourself, to see what your presentation scores were, taste, tenderness. I don't know what they judge on down there in Texas, but just going off KCBS.
It's only one score.
Which is?
You just get one.
You are?
Yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, for some of us, we're at a disadvantage. But no, you get when they judge, the judge only gives you one score, so it's on aroma, taste, and appearance. And then the top, let's say the top half from each round moves on to the next round. So you'll have 10 from one table go on. So if you have, let's say if you have 100 teams, you might have 5 tables the first round, and then they'll whittle that down from 100 to 50 in the second round, and then they'll whittle that down to probably 20 or 25 for the final table. So that'd be 3 rounds for a contest of 100.
It's all one turn-in box?
It's all one turn-in box. And it looks butchered by the time it gets to the third or fourth round. Not to mention that it's cold.
Yeah.
As a KCBS guy, I would hate to enter a setup like that. That would be a barrier to me. I wouldn't want to join.
So, Doug, are you in a situation? I mean, obviously, you're a very successful Texas cook and won a lot of competitions out there. Are you in a position where initially it's starting off, I want to say hot, because I don't know if any barbecue is actually judged hot, but is it lukewarm and then it just works its way back to cold?
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, you try to keep it, and in fact, in the turn-in window, you've got the 10 plus, 10 minus. I like to turn it in 5 minutes before before the turn-in ends.
I think if Texas has a lot of different sanctioning bodies within the state. Obviously, geographically, Texas is large. I would like to say, just as a guy who likes to make sure everybody's getting along, I would like to see Texas get together and unify into one sanctioning body. I mean, it's big enough. Texas has always talked long and hard about how we're going to secede from the Union. Well, bullshit you are. Nobody's nutted up and actually done it yet. But why not make the first step to seceding from the Union by unifying the sanctioning bodies of Texas barbecue competitions, putting a scoring system together, and then addressing some of the issues that Doug has talked about. I mean, I'm not a competitor. I've made no bones about it. But if I was going to choose one, I know just from experience talking with these pit masters that a lot of these guys make sure that their flavor profiles are right around lukewarm to cool, because that's what they think the judges are going to be tasting, and that's how they work their flavor profile. So I would kind of hedge for that, but maybe not everybody has the same knowledge or insight that I'm getting because I'm doing the show and they aren't, or they don't read Clinton, Chris, and they don't know Doug. But I think it's important to know that up front, but more importantly to be in kind of a unified sanctioning body instead of having all these different factions that are going on inside of Texas. Do you see that ever happening, Doug, at some point?
Not based on the history. I think if there's enough of a groundswell with regard to changing the scoring system, and now with one of the sanctioning bodies, Texas Gulf Coast, actually switching to the Georgia Best, then perhaps that might gain some popularity behind it, but not right now. Too much politics.
All right, we'll move to Clint Cantwell from Smokin' to Eye and Grillocracy and all that other good stuff. What are you burning on tonight, my friend?
I am burning on the oversaturation of the barbecue cookbook market. No offense to Chris Grove.
None taken.
Finally, somebody's talking about this. Roll with it.
Yeah, I get a boatload of these barbecue cookbooks. I don't know if you can see part of my bookshelf behind me, but I could pick a recipe and probably pull some version of that same exact dish out of 70% of these cookbooks. I mean, there's only so many ways to do a brisket, so many ways to do a pork butt, and it seems like we've reached the point where everybody and their sister is writing a barbecue cookbook. There's a faux barbecue blogger out there that rhymes with Grilling with Rich, who is supposedly working on a cookbook for next summer. The guy can't even write a recipe, and he's doing a cookbook. So, I mean, Fonzie, get on your motorcycle. It's time to jump the shark and put an end to all these damn cookbooks.
Chris Grove is somebody who is, a cookbook writer guy. Thoughts on that, or what?
Well, I mean, he's not wrong. Unfortunately, there is a lot of similarity. That's why when I did mine, I actually went by technique instead of, trying to do actual recipes. And believe it or not, actually, Clint and I were in negotiation with the publisher to do another book, and they wanted it to be solely on barbecue. And he and I said, we turned them down. We said it's been done too many times, and we don't want to do, try to sit there and come up with a ridiculous brisket just because it needed to be something different. So, I mean, if you're not a big name like, Aaron Franklin or something, honestly, I haven't looked at a new cookbook in 3 or 4 years without something like that attached to it.
I thought you were going to say
one of my favorites on Grillocracy, because they're books that I go back to on a consistent basis. Like Bon Appetit's grilling cookbook is excellent, and Adam Perry Lang's cookbook, Serious Barbecue, or whatever the hell it's called. There's some books out there that that really do it right and show techniques that other people aren't talking about. Adam Perry Lang's board sauce and things like that. But again, for the most part, it's slap somebody else's name on the same exact cookbook.
Doug, thoughts on the cookbook stuff?
This is coming from the guy who doesn't read books, but I'll take as much barbecue porn as possible. I think that reading other people's perspective on barbecue is very educational, and that's about the only type of barbecue book I read are barbecue books.
All right, so
bring them on.
I'm going to side with the other two guys and say enough is enough. Even if it's a big name, I think Aaron Franklin doesn't really have much more room to go in a barbecue saturated cookbook situation. Not only cookbooks, mind you, but I would go so far to say as sauces and rubs as well. I mean, there's 50,000 rubs and sauces on Giant Eagle, which is my main supermarket here in the Cleveland area. It's 10 times more than it was even 4 years ago. And so for somebody to jump into a cookbook or a rub and a sauce thing right now, you got to have something that is just going, you either got to have a huge effing name, or you got to have something that is so good it's going to knock your socks off and everybody's going to buy it by the truckload. So I agree with Clint on that one. All right, mine quickly as we're running out of time, amazingly enough. Let me just remind folks that you're out there and you're taking pictures, which Doug appreciates of your porno, but if it's in a crock pot and it's got barbecue sauce on it, that doesn't mean it's barbecue, douchebag. Slow cooking your pork butt in a crock pot or your ribs that you are sectioning off singularly from the bone to drop in there and douse it with your open pit or Kraft horse crap is not barbecue. And I'm not going to get into the back and forth of what is barbecue classified as like I did with Meathead 5 and 6 years ago, because I've come around to his way of thinking to a certain degree. But there is a point when you are not allowed to use the word barbecue or the word grilling, and certainly that fits the bill. Doug, what do you think?
Well, I think you're crushing my hopes that the McRib barbecue sandwich is going to be a mainstay in my house. But yeah, I have to agree with you. So barbecue is really an open fire pit, and just because you put some little bit of sauce on it doesn't make a barbecue burger.
Clint?
Oh, I agree 100%. Liquid smoke does not hide all sins, and it needs to be banned worldwide.
That might actually create new sins if you're using liquid smoke. Chris Grove, what do you think?
Yeah, the only exception I would add is when it comes to fast food. I would rather see them just put barbecue sauce on a piece of chicken and call it barbecue than the crap they're calling pulled pork these days. So other than that, yeah, I agree.
Chris, your website, real quick before we...
www.nibblemethis.com.
Nibblemethis.com. All right, Clint, your website?
Grillocracy.com, home of the bacon bun hot dog.
Bacon bun hot dog. Doug, any websites you're looking to give out tonight here?
No website. Facebook is Rogue Barbecue Cookers.
Rogue Barbecue Cookers, and by the way, if you're really lucky, you might get one of those bastards. I'm telling. All right, boys. Doug, Clint, and Chris, appreciate the time tonight, and let's do it again next month.
Thank you.
All right,
appreciate it.
There they are. Oh my goodness, we got through it, ladies and gentlemen. That was kind of entertaining, maybe. Like how I saved myself. That was kind of entertaining, maybe. Tiffany Thompson coming up out of the break. Let me talk to you quickly about Suckle Busters. That's right, sucklebusters.com is the website if you want to check it out. Preferred by competition barbecue cooks, Texas-based, 100% made in the USA. Products have won hundreds of industry awards, including 2 first places 2 years in a row at the American Royal Barbecue Sauce Contest. New from Suckle Busters, the Honey Barbecue Glaze and Finishing Sauce based on Suckle Busters' award-winning Honey Barbecue Sauce. This is a thin barbecue glaze and finishing sauce made especially for competition ribs and chicken. It's super sweet, not spicy, super red, and they use a special American paprika for bright red color. Brush it on the last 5 to 10 minutes of cooking. It leaves a glossy red sheen on the meat and an extra layer of sweet flavor. Take your barbecue competition ribs and chicken to a whole nother level. Available at local barbecue store or online at sucklebusters.com. If you want a free bottle, email me right now and put the Kangaroo Pit. The Kangaroo Pit. You can win a bottle of the Sucklebusters Honey Barbecue Glaze. 972-393-9509. Sales at sucklebusters.com or sucklebusters.com. Thanks to Dan Arnold. And again, I got 2 gallons of that spicy peach sauce that I'm very excited about. You might want to try that as well. All right, we're back with Man Great. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Big name interviews, advice on cooking brisket and ribs, and the only host willing to share his honest opinion on all things important in the world of barbecue. It's the Barbecue Central Show.
All right, welcome back. This portion of the Barbecue Central Show is being brought to you by iGrill, makers of the most advanced Bluetooth grilling thermometers out there in the industry today. Monitor the temperature of whatever you're grilling from up to 150 feet away using the iOS or Android device. That's right. Use code CENTRAL for 15% off your purchase at iDevicesInc.com. Grill with precision with your iGrill. Love iGrill. All right, folks, my last guest tonight is one of the newest sponsors of the show, which I appreciate. You know, sometimes grill grates that come with your low-price grill suck, especially the cheap-made ones. They just don't cut it. So what are your options? What if I told you that there are raw cast iron grates out there on the market right now that will sit on top of your current grates and cook a much more enjoyable experience for you? Interested? Of course you are. I'm talking about it. Let's go ahead and head to the hotline and welcome first-timer to the show, Tiffany Thompson. Tiffany, how are you?
I'm good. How you doing, Brad?
Doing absolutely fabulous, Tiffany. Appreciate you making time tonight. And obviously, we're going to be talking about Man Great. Before we get into that, I guess, you know, a little background on you and kind of how you got mixed up with Man Great.
Oh, well, actually, Man Great was a fruition of my uncle. He owned a steakhouse about 25 years ago in the Northern Virginia region, and went on to found a computer company. But when he sold his steakhouse, he took those solid cast iron grill grates that he had with the steakhouse with him. And when we were growing up, we didn't have the regular gas grill you get at the Lowe's or the hardware store. We always made our own brick barbecue grills and had the cast iron grates on top of it. So that's what I do. And when a few years ago, he decided to take that mold and break it down to a size that the private citizen could use. And, you know, that's how we came up with the Man Grate. It's a commercial iron grate they use in steakhouses that you can now use in your own personal barbecue grill.
So it's a family affair kind of a thing, huh?
Oh, quite a bit, yes, yeah.
All right, so was there a lot of genesis and revisions and prototyping before you have something you feel comfortable going out to market, or were you pretty confident?
Oh, definitely, yeah. You know, originally the Man Grate was, now it is an 8-pound grate, and it's 15 inches long, 4¼ inches wide, an inch and a half tall. Which, you know, if you buy a barbecue grill and you have a grate set on your grill, that's something to say, because it's quite an expensive thing to ship to do in the line of Weber or whatever that is. But you know, we had this giant grate when we started with that you would probably use on a commercial, maybe a grill you'd see at Chipotle or something like that. And he just kind of whittled it down to something that he thought the normal backyard consumer could use, and that's how we ended up with the Man Grate. But at the end of the day, we all loved cast iron. Not the cast iron that you see with the porcelain coating on it or anything like that. A raw cast iron grate. I think that's what he was really trying to get at.
Hey, Tiffany, do you have a cell phone handy by chance?
I do, yeah.
Can I give you a number to call in? Because I'm getting a little chop here. I want to make sure we get all the good stuff.
Oh, yeah, not a problem.
All right. It is 216.
Hold on 1 second. Let me get rid of my
Yep.
dot.
No problem.
Okay.
216. 220 0966.
216-220-2 what?
0966.
All right.
Yeah, give me a call right there. We'll get you right back up.
All right, thanks.
All right. Yeah, it's wireless internet connection is what it is. Not everybody still has the wired like I get. Tiffany?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, much better. Thank you.
Better? Okay. I was wondering how it's gonna go, because God knows how many kids are trying to suction off my internet with YouTube.
Yeah, I know how that goes. The wireless. It's great until it doesn't work great, and then it's not so great. So good history on Man-Grade and the genesis of it all. So when do you decide to take it to market?
We decided, we decided in 2008. My uncle had this passion for grilling, and I have to say I was a bit intimidated. I would listen to your show, about an hour before we got on the phone together, and, these people really, really are passionate, really know what they're doing. But my uncle, we really had a passion for just grilling in the backyard, and that is who that's our clientele. That's who we're after, is the backyard griller who enjoys not cooking in the kitchen per se, but enjoys cooking in the backyard. And that's who he was after. And that's what we've always done is, our product is not complex. It's a raw cast iron grate, and you can set it up over gas, charcoal, whatever it may be. So that's really where he took it. Is we never had some complex grilling operation. We just really decided cast iron is a fantastic way to grill, and that's what we're going to do. And he took it in 2008 to a place in Ohio that could make the cast and could do the pouring, and from there we started our business.
Is there a lot of time? And I'm only asking because I have no idea. Is there a lot of time going through and picking the iron, or is that something that the manufacturer makes suggestions on? And I would imagine there's varying price points in that regard.
With cast, he decided to go with raw cast iron because when he heard a lot of indecision when it came to anything that was coated. When you're dealing with raw cast iron, you do need to know what you're doing. You need to know how to take care of that piece of cookery. It doesn't have a porcelain coating. It doesn't have any kind of enamel on it. And the reason he did that was if you do have that kind of coating on it and it chips, that's going to completely be eaten away. You're not able to reseason. And the wonderful thing about cast iron is you can always reseason it. And I'm sure that you've heard it 1,000 times. If your audience has ever dealt with cast iron, the first experience they had was with a cast iron pan. And whether it be 75 years old or whether it be a lodge pan they got a couple of years ago, if it rusts, you can always reseason it. And that's what he wanted, is something that lasts generation to generation. And that's why we decided to go with a raw cast iron. Now, of course, cast iron, there are different makes you can do with it. There are different kind of alloys you can put in it. But, we decided to go with a raw cast iron. We found a plant in Ohio. We always decided to go with 100% American-made product. And we've been really happy with our manufacturer.
All right. So as far as Man-Grates are concerned, if you could go back over the spec and then how you would go about figuring out how many you want to put on your respective grill.
Sure. So each Man-Grate, it's a standard size. It's 15 inches long and 4.25 inches wide. And the most important thing is to make sure you can close your grill. So whether you have gas or whether you use charcoal, you want to make sure that the grate, once you put it down, you can close your grill. Take the measurements of your grill and decide how many grates you can put across it. It's a fairly simple product. We are coming out with a round grate because I know that some people have a kettle grill or something like that, and they want to be able to have a round cast iron grate. So, if you are interested in this product, look for it in the future to have a rounded element to it. But it's a fairly straightforward, simple product.
Tiffany Thompson joining me here on the show. We're talking about ManGreat, the website mangreat.com, if you want to check it out here or potentially purchase while we're talking. Let me ask you specifically, because there's really not a lot of competition in this particular arena, which is kind of amazing because it seems like when it relates to barbecue, it's all there is competition. There's rubs and sauces and grills and blah, blah, blah. But as far as grates, man, not so much as far as aftermarket is concerned. So when you look at the aftermarket grill grate section, you have ManGreat, and then you have another company called Grill Grate. How do you go about differentiating yourself? Obviously, there's the biggie one's aluminum, one's raw, which is yours. But
it's if you know anything about the metal and the cooking process, Grill Grates is an anodized aluminum product. It's a lightweight product, yes, but you also have to look at the construct of the product. Where do you find the construct of the product? Where do you find your alleviation for? Let's say you're cooking a big fatty ribeye, and you're cooking it on anodized aluminum, which once you get it over about 500 degrees, it tends to turn white hot. And there's not a place with the design of the grill grates for the fat to go. So it goes to flaring up. When you have our grates, our design, we have a rail design, a triangulated rail design. So that fat is allowed to go down into the grill, but we don't get a big flare up. And I think, Greg, did we send you a pair of grates? Did you try them out?
Yes, yep, they're actually on my grill right now.
Have you tried grill grates?
Yes, I have. And so a couple things that I've noticed is it does, for the people that are going to be cooking on it, you want to preheat the grill a little bit sooner than you would normally, because as you said, these things they weigh a lot, so you want to make sure that they're nice. But it's like anything, once they're hot, the heat's there and they're easy, but it's a nice even surface. And my grill's old. I mean, I cook on it all the time, and it's old, and it's got a lot of hot spots. So this seems to have evened out the hot spots quite a bit. And the thing that I like the most is the flare-ups have seemed to almost gone away 100%.
Yeah, I mean, you're dealing with an even heating surface with the cast iron grate. With grill grates, it's a thinner product, it's a lightweight product. I don't know how durable it is. I would say at higher heat, grill grates may not be as durable as a cast iron product, my experience. So, if you're looking for something that you can really abuse in a way, then I would say go with a cast iron product, and that's definitely what we are. We're 100% raw cast iron. We allow room for those fats to drip off, but instead of creating flare up, it kind of dissipates with what we call our patented grill rails, our smoke rails, and that those fats and those oils hit the highly heated rails and kind of turn into a flavorizing capability there. So it's preference. Everybody has a preference what they want to cook on. Cast iron, people that cook in cast iron, I feel like, are fans for life. So
Tiffany Thompson joining me here on the show from ManGreat. As far as care is concerned, I imagine because it is raw cast iron, how you season, and then how do you maintain it ongoing so you don't run into the rust monster?
Yeah, that's probably one of the number one questions we get is seasoning. And cast iron, again, it's a raw cast iron product. There is no enamel coating on it. There's no porcelain coating on our product. And we don't do that because if you do have that kind of coating on a product and it chips, you're never going to be able to reseason that product, and you're never going to be able to get away from rust. It's always been a rust. So we have 100% raw cast iron. And what I recommend and what I've done the research on is cottonseed oil. It has a relatively high smoke point. The smoke point's about 420. And once it gets up to that smoke point, it really creates quite a hard surface to alleviate or to create a hard surface. It creates a non-stick surface, a surface that won't rust. And the secret to cast iron is just keeping it oiled, keeping it coated, keeping it in use. And if you have your grates on a grill, and it's perhaps you live in the north or you live in a part of the country where you're not going to be grilling for a while, take those grates off your grill, take your grill and put it in an area where it's protected, because it's going to get abused by the weather. So that's really the secret, is keeping moisture away from it.
The other thing that I liked about Man Grate when I got it is it did come, or you at least do offer its own kind of made to go hand in hand grilling cleaner with that big brush.
Yeah, we do. We have a pretty substantial solid pine block brush that has the stainless steel bristles. And again, it gets right between those rails. It cleans out all the gunk you get from cooking those beautiful ribeyes. And I think that if you leave a little bit of gunk on the grill, it's not such a bad thing. Again, cast iron is a porous metal. You want to make sure those fats get in there, but you also want to make sure your grill's clean. So the Man Grate brush is a heavy duty pine block, long stainless steel brush. And I don't think that you'll ever find a brush like ours. That's for sure.
Is that also made in America, like the grate itself?
Everything about our company is 100% made in America. Our grates are cast in Ohio. Our brush is made in, the block is made in New England, and the bristles are injected in Wisconsin and sent to us in Manassas, Virginia. So yes, everything about our company is 100% man-made.
Spreading it all around the country.
U.S. made.
Good for you, spreading it all over the country there.
When I originally agreed to this, I thought, this will be 10:35 in the morning. Oh, how easy. 10:35 at night, a little more tired.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I'm exhausted. I got to tell you, kids have gone to school for the second day, and I'm just like, oh, God, I didn't realize I had to stay up till 10:35 and talk about grapes.
Yes.
That's okay, Craig.
So what you're saying is you don't want to be my new co-host. I see. I can take a hint.
If you turn to more of a morning hour, perhaps. But when you said 10:35, I thought, no problem. I'll be bright and chipper at 10:35 in the morning. Great.
Yeah, well, we need to see you at your true self at 10:35 at night.
You're correct. You are very correct. But we're a small company, and we love what we do. And the funny thing is, so many people think, Man Grate, it must be such a macho, masculine company. And we're all run by women. I manage the whole fulfillment, management, customer service line of it. My colleague Julie, she does all the marketing, and then actually one of the co-owners is Evan McConnell's wife, Peggy McConnell, and she does all of the brainstorming and creative marketing. So, I know it has kind of a masculine tinge towards it, but Man Grate's is kind of a feminine company.
Well,
so we've done quite well in the world of grilling.
I think, especially in the world of barbecue and grilling, over the last handful of years, it has become proliferated with women that are top-notch competitors and business people. Mm-hmm. So, it fits right in, absolutely. And also, Man Grate is offering a 25% off your purchase if you use code BBQCEN. You can get 25% off your purchase at mangrate.com. So go ahead and take full advantage of that. Tiffany, aside from the round product that you're going to be offering, are you looking into being able to offer a retrofit size or like a custom size at some point?
we would love to absolutely do that. The unfortunate thing is, when you have a product that's 8 pounds, 5 or 15 inches long, 4.25 inches wide, it's really hard to custom fit that product to somebody's grill. I'm not saying we can't do it, but at a price that may be friendly to the consumer, I don't know. But we are going to be offering a awesome line of, like I was talking about, cottonseed oil. We're looking into a bunch of great producers of barbecue and sausage, or barbecue and rubs in the Virginia area where we're from. And your previous guest was saying, you can try 1,000 different sauces and 1,000 different rubs. And how do you know if you're getting a good product? Well, we have trialed and tested, and we will only accept the best on our website. So I hope that your listeners will come to our website and experience what we have to offer. We're going to be offering great good Christmas gifts and always Father's Day gifts. So I hope that they follow our product and see the evolution of what we're going to do.
It's Tiffany Thompson from Mangreat. The website, again, mangreat.com. And don't forget to take advantage of that special while it's still going on. 25% off when you use BBQCEN at mangreat.com. Tiffany, really appreciate the time tonight. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thanks so much, Greg. You take care.
You got it.
Good night.
There she is, Tiffany Thompson, ready to go to bed. I thought it was 10:35 in the morning. The show's never been 10:35 in the morning, ever. I don't think my bosses of the day job would appreciate my 10th. Simple mistake. She did great. Even at 10:35 at night. I know, it gets long. I work all day, too, and then I got to come here and put on the 9 to 11 face. Folks, let me talk to you about the longest-running sponsor of the show, located in Warminster, Pennsylvania, the Barbecue Guru. Gang, if you've been thinking about automatic pit temperature control devices, then stop here. This is the company that started it all. They are the creators of this technology. Why are you going to buy from any other company? I don't know. If you're not familiar with how they work, imagine a product that once set keeps your pit temperature running at that temperature all the way through the cook. If you're a busy working professional, if you're constantly on the run with kids doing errands, if you don't have the time to set around and 10 pit temperatures, let the Guru do that for you. Throw on a pork butt, a brisket, a couple slabs of ribs. You're off to do whatever it is you need to get done, and the Guru maintains that pit temperature set it at. Currently, 4 different models to choose from, so there's going to be one that fits your budget. How about the CyberQ Wi-Fi? A lot of people love that. How about the Party Q at $149? Easiest point of entry into the world of automatic pit temperature control devices. The Onyx Oven, still there. There might be something new coming out. We might be talking to Bob Trudnak about that next week. We'll see. Here's what I'm asking. Do yourself a favor. Head on over to thebbqguru.com and check out their products. If you have any questions about what to order, call them directly, 800-288-GURU, 800-288-GURU. They will make sure you're outfitted with exactly what you need to get you up and running right out of the box. 800-288-GURU or thebbqguru.com. The Barbecue Guru is a breakthrough in barbecue technology. We're back right after this.
Get in the smoke. Call 877-448-0433 to get on the air. Now, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
All right, we got to do it really fast here. By the way, Tom won the sauce. Tom, I'll be in touch with you shortly. All the way back in the first hour, we talked with Rich Robin from Gator Pit, gatorpit.net. Also, we talked with Andy Allen from Rooftop Barbecue. Second hour, we talked with Doug Scheiding, Clint Cantwell, and Chris Grove, the Kangaroo Pit Court. And we ended the show with Tiffany Thompson, Mangreat. So thanks to all of them. September 11th, 2001, I will never forget. Hey, Matt, thanks for noticing the new mic setup. September 11th, 2001, I will never forget. Till next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it's your program host and proud U.S. American, Greg Rempe. Good night now.
Daniel's World